Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Advaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Shakanya Om Ganati Shri Puja Shri Guru Abhava Orva Parya Parampara Prachalita Pragya Pramota Bhakti Nirmala Nibritam Samrakshakam Sadhakam Vande Shri Guru Devam Ananta Shira Korva Bhista Saprakam Guru Chintya Chintya Nirupa Govindabhidam Vande Vishwaguru Vam Divyatanam Chanda Alarka Chelanchitam Sandananda Param Vidya Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Vande Tam Shri Siddhanta Saraswat Ato Banariva Prabhata Maya Bharati Mingaloda Bhagatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Siddhanta Radha Namo Gorkishwaraya Bhaktavadutra Mortaye Aurangiri Padma Bringaya Vande Bhakti Vinod Shakti Bhakti Sastrat Gaura Raja Shita Sheshar Vaishnavar Vande Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Vanchakapataru Vanchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Om Mahavanaya Namne Gauratriche Namaha Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Manda Matergati Maksarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrinaranya Kapajavada Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Shri Gandharva Srila Govinda Devo Praisali Bi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasa Rambi Bhamsivata Tata Sita Karshan Venu Sanar Gopir Gopinatha Shri Esuna Vrindayai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Kesavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Vatanatva Mantra Gurun Gurun Bhagavata Tadan Vyasan Jagat Gurun Natva Tato Jayam Mudiraye Joy Spadika, Shri Guru Garanga Gandhara Govinda Sundar Pada Padmanam Jayastu. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Enjoy Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gopal, Srila Gurudev, Srila Chaitanya, Sri Kaur, Rupa Tukara, Kaur Varga Ki Jai.
Jai.
Samaveda Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai.
Jai.
Oh, glorious to the assembled devotees.
Jai.
Oh, glorious to the worldwide devotees.
Jai.
Gaur Premanand Hari
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Ad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srimati Uma Devi Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Sriman Krishna Kesara Prabhu Ki Jai. Okay. Today we're reading from Sharanagati. Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And a commentary by Srila Sridhara Maharaj. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Asatara Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Asatara Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Srila Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Sharanagati Ki Jai.
Jai.
Okay, so today, Goptritve Varana. Goptritve Varana means accepting the guidance of Krishna. Basically, accepting the guidance of the spiritual master. The whole of surrender is generally represented by this limb. The whole of surrender is represented by this limb of accepting the Lord as guardian, or accepting the spiritual master as your guardian. Ki jani ki pale tomara damete ainu Śaraṇāgata Duvidaya Maya Patita Pavana Patita Tarane Rata. I do not know by what force I have taken shelter within your abode. You are the merciful Savior of the fallen who is ever engaged in delivering them. Commentary by Sridhar Maharaj. Ki jani ki bhale. I do not know by what force. Krishna explains to Uddhava in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11:28, Yadrishaya mat katado jata shraddha stuya puman na nirvino niti sakto bhakti yoga sasiddhata. One who is neither excessively averse nor excessively attached to mundane existence, and who by some good fortune develops faith in narrations about me, his practice of bhakti yoga results in perfection. And here, go back. That verse is explaining something very important, huh? Up a little bit more. What force do we take shelter of Krishna? What drives a devotee? Why is a devotee attracted to Krishna, to serving Krishna? Some people, we call them devotees, have this natural attraction to Krishna. Why? Where is that force coming from? And not coming from our choice, and not our choice, not coming from our free will. Somehow we come in contact with the devotees, and we feel this attraction to Krishna. Where does that force? Huh? What do you know? What do you call that? Do you know, Uma Devi? What is it that attracts a devotee to Krishna?
There is four type of bhaktis.
Huh? What'd she say?
There are four
Arte,
kinds of
arte, artha, arte, jignasa, jnani, or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Some people have problem, then they want to.
Yes, that will that makes them want to go to Krishna. And from a mundane perspective, they may have those kinds of reasons. But the real thing that forces the devotee to Krishna is called Krishna's mercy. Krishna extends his mercy to that soul. And then he can feel, by the Lord's mercy, because everything is under the control of Krishna, right? His will is the supreme. Our will is to surrender to his will. We give up our will to accept his will. Now that will by Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhu. I am willing everything. By my grace, devotee comes to me. Or he has to accept the control of the material energy. There's two energies, Sarup Shakti and Maya Shakti. And then, of course, Tatastha Shakti. But when the Tatastha Shakti Jiva comes under the influence of Sarup Shakti, that's coming from Krishna. And that Sarup Shakti is Krishna's mercy. That engages us in the service of Krishna. And when we're not getting that mercy of Krishna, then we're under the influence of Maya Shakti. That's also under Krishna's control. So Krishna is willing. Either you come by his will, he will either take his devotee toward him, or he will allow that soul to continue existence under Maya Shakti. So we have to understand it not by our will, but by the mercy of Krishna. If it was by our will, then how does Krishna? How would there be any room for Krishna's mercy? Krishna's mercy comes only by his own grace, not by anything we do or anything we don't do. One time Sridhara told, no matter how much you may cry for Krishna or whatever, he said that will not get you anywhere. Only by Krishna's will, if he decides to send his mercy to his devotee. And then that devotee can come to him, but not by any demand or need on our part. It seems like that. It's up to us, but it's not. All up to Krishna. That is his supremacy. That's why a devotee must surrender. Give up all sense of self-will. And it's not, I am only your servant, and you can do what you want with me. You can forget me. You can remember me. By your mercy only, I may be saved from the influence of material nature. He doesn't give himself any credit. All credit goes to Krishna. Can you understand that?
Yes, Maharaja.
Okay. And right, the most important point. Bhakti Vinod is writing this Sharanagati because this is the most important point. Śaraṇāgati, what does that mean? That we are completely depending on Krishna. We completely take shelter of him because everything is up to him. All of our existence, everything, all in his hands, not in our hands. Okay, next. Parasa amara e matranat tumita karuna mahaya tavadaya patra nahimana sama avasya uchabe bhaya. Translation. O Lord, you are merciful. This is my sole hope. There is no candidate for your mercy like me. Certainly you will dispel all my fear. Commentary by Sridhara. Davadaya Patra. Candidate for your mercy. In the Sri Stotra Ratna, Sri Yamunacharya prays, Namrisa Paramartam Eva Me, Srinu Vigyapanam Ekam Agrata, Yarimena Das Dayase Tada, Dayaniyas Tava Nata Durlabaha. O Lord, please listen as I make before you this one petition, which is not false but utterly sincere. If you do not bestow your mercy upon me, it will be extremely difficult for you to find a more befitting recipient of your mercy. Amare charite kaharo sakati avani bitare nahi dayala Thakura koshana tomara adama parame trahi. Translation. There is no one on earth who has the power to deliver me. O merciful Lord, it is your declaration that you deliver the lowest, most sinful persons. Commentary. Hoshana Tamare. Your declaration. This is described in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita until Lila 4.68, where Sriman Mahaprabhu says to Srila Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, Dinera Adhika Daya Kare Bhagavan. The Supreme Lord bestows greater mercy upon the destitute. So it's purely out of love. And Krishna wants to bestow his mercy on the living entity. If the living entity he sees is feeling too much pain, then the Lord bestows his mercy upon that soul. That's all. Only criterion if Krishna wants to develop that relationship with his devotees by his mercy. And that's what does it say? Sakala Chadiya Asiyatri Ami Tomara Charani Nath Ami Nitya Dasa Tuvi Palayita Tuvi Gopta Jagannatha. Sakala, everything, translation, abandoning everything, I have come to your feet, O Lord. I am your eternal servant, and you are my maintenance and protector, O Lord of the universe. Go back a minute. Abandoning everything means not to look for some material salvation, some pleasure, some safety, some comfort in material things, but abandoning all that when Krishna says, Sarvadharmam parityaja, abandoning everything, whatever we find protection in this world, giving all that up and recognizing that Krishna is the only source, ground of our existence. And everything is coming from him, and without his will, nothing else. Nothing else will will provide shelter for us, will provide comfort for us or fulfillment. And therefore, when who comes to that realization, it happens simultaneously, recognizing that Krishna is the shelter ultimately, and recognizing that also that no shelter in this world will be sufficient for our salvation, for our satisfaction. These two things come together. but that is also by Krishna's grace. Then, Tomara Sakala Ami Matra Das, Amare Taribe Tube, Tomara Charana Karina Varana, Amara Nahit Tau Ami. Translation, everything is yours. I'm only a servant. Certainly you will deliver me. I have embraced your feet and no longer belong to myself. So what is that? The false ego. The false ego is called I and mine. When a devotee is thinking, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, this is considered I and mine mentality. He's still in that framework of seeing I have mine, you have your opinion, everybody is their own ego. They're not like that. Everything is by Krishna's grace. By his order only, everything is going on. And I no longer have my opinion or I no longer have my free will. I give everything to the over to the domain of the Lord. His decision is final. The commentary: Amara nahi ta'ami. No longer belong to myself. The result of this type of wholesale surrender is described by Krishna to Uddhava as Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29-34. Mayatma Uyayacha Kalpate Vai. The surrendered soul becomes fit to associate with me. He awakens to his divine form, like my own. Here's the key. When one gives over all control to Krishna, then he becomes fit to enter the transcendental world. He escapes the atmosphere of the mundane plane only when he recognizes his complete dependence on the will of the Lord. His desire is the only desire that is of any importance to the devotee. He forgoes his own pleasure, his own desire, and seeks only to serve the desire of the Supreme Lord. And that is called Swarup Shakti. There he awakens to his real form. Okay. Pragya.
Krishna
Nano,
Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. Dandavat pranam.
Nano,
Sorry, I'm late, Maharaj.
so nice to have your association again.
No, so nice to see you.
Hare Krishna.
Been so long.
On an auspicious day today, Jagannath Mishra's Mahotsava.
Yes. Beautiful day.
All right, so now what do we say?
6.
Bhakti Vinoda Kadiya Sharana La Yeche Tamara Paya Shami Aparada Name Ruchadiya Palana Karahitai. The translation: Oh, crying, Bhakti Vinod has taken shelter at your lotus feet. Forgiving his offenses and granting him taste for your name, please maintain him. Commentary by Srila Maharaj. Kshami aparada patana karahe taya. Forgiving his offenses, please maintain him. Forgiving their offenses and granting them taste for the name is the Lord's maintenance of his devotees. When, by Krishna's grace, we finally understand that he is the Lord, Supreme Lord, controlling influence in the whole of the world, and we are all just his puppets, then at that time we have, that is the mercy of Krishna. He has given, then we can understand we have Krishna's mercy. And because we take it, because we don't have that understanding in the conditioned state, we are actually living in sin. Our every action, every thought, every deed is an offense to the Lord, because it doesn't understand, doesn't accept that He is behind everything and not my own self or the self of others. It is His self which is giving and controlling the whole of existence. So devotee feels that his life has been one big offense to the Supreme Lord. And therefore he has to pray, not only have I committed sin, doing my own will and acting my own will in this world, but I've also been very offensive to you for not recognizing your supremacy over all and thinking that I was independent and doing things by my own choice and others were doing things by their choice, and then simply becoming angry at one another because we don't have any agreement. That whole conception of life vanishes once we understand that everyone is under the supreme will of the Lord and acting only according by His mercy in that consciousness. Okay, and then song number 18. Dara putra nija deha kutuma palane sarvada vyakula ami ehinu mane mane. Translation. Deep within, I was always anxious about the maintenance of my wife, children, body, and relatives. Kemani arjiba artayasya kise pava kanya putra vivaha kemane sampadiba. Translation: how shall I earn money? How shall I attain fame? How will I arrange the marriages of my sons and daughters? Eva atma samarpane chintanahi dara tumi nirvari varahi prabhu samsara tamara. Now that I have fully offered myself, I have no more anxiety. You will maintain your household, O Lord. So here is showing the difference. Those who are not surrendered think, well, I have so many responsibilities to do in this world. How will I do all these responsibilities? They become very anxious when it becomes difficult to maintain their house and their family and so forth and so on. But those who have surrendered completely to Krishna and understand He is the supreme controller, He is doing everything under His will, then all that concern about this, that, and the other thing vanishes, disappears. And the whole ego has been dissolved there in that case. It's giving completely to identification of his existence with the divine will of the Supreme. Who can come to that platform? That person has received the mercy of Krishna. That is the mercy of Krishna, to relieve the soul of his burden of thinking he has responsibility for so many things in this world. Tumita padibe mor nijal usa adasa jani tomara sevaya prabhu bada sukhamani. Translation. You will certainly maintain me, knowing me to be in your servant. O Lord, in your service I feel the greatest joy. Oh, wait a minute, 1 minute. Go back. Knowing me to be your servant. So just like we hear the elephant in the forest, and the jungle, he eats so much, has such a big body to feed, and yet they're not worried about storing food for the times when it may not be available. Elephants don't store food. Just like a human being, he always wants to put a big bag of rice in his house to make sure he has it for the next day, the next few weeks. But the elephant doesn't do that. He eats day to day despite the enormous amount of food that he has to eat in order to survive. The birds, all the animals, they don't put a storage of food for themselves. They eat as every day comes, and they don't have confidence that it will be there. It's not a matter of that. It's just by nature they are recognizing that. Huh? And yet the human beings think, oh, I have to make preparation for so many things. And he develops so much anxiety at providing for himself and others. So one who is situated in the plane of Sharanagati, of surrender to the will of Krishna, then he is confident everything will be taken care of, because he is simply the servant of Krishna, and all are the servants of Krishna. A very transcendental realization above the mundane platform of conception, misconception. Tomara ichaya prabhu sahakarya hoya jiva bale karyami seta satyanaya. Translation. All activity happens according to your will, O Lord. Yet souls think I do. This is not at all true. Commentary by Srila Maharaj. Jiva bale karyami seta satyanaya. Souls think I do this. This is not at all true. Krishna explains this in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita 3:27. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Actions in the world are affected in every respect by the modes of material nature, yet one deluded by false ego thinks, I am the doer. So this conception, I am the doer, it's called ahankara. This ahankara, this conception that I am the doer, what is that? Who was influenced by that kind of thinking? We can understand, they are under the influence of Maya, of the material nature, because that is not at all true. The real conception is that Krishna is the doer, and I and all others are under his control, under his will. So as soon as one is freed from this sense of agency within oneself, then one comes to the transcendental platform, has escaped the influence of material nature, and that in itself is the mercy who has come to that position, raised up to the transcendental platform of the Lord's activities. That is the mercy of Krishna. Can understand. Jiva ki karite par, tumi na karile, ashramatra jiva kare, tave ichha phale. Translation. What are the souls able to do if you do not act? The souls can only desire. It is your will alone that comes to pass. So what is our ability? The soul's ability has only one. He can desire. One time I remember speaking with Srila Prabhupada, actually, and he was trying to explain to me the reincarnation, that how we are given a body according to our desire. I was asking how does the living entity get his body? And he said it's by desire. You have to understand everything is by desire. I asked him, I said, if we desire a plate of prasadam right now, and he laughed. He said, yes, that is devotee. You can get a plate of prasadam. Krishna will give you prasadam if you desire. I said, Prabhupada, how does that work? I was trying to understand the scientific details. And he said, everything is based upon desire. And I thought, well, there's got to be something more than that. No, that is principle. Krishna will arrange everything from
We have the recording of that conversation.
there. Desire. That is our responsibility only, what we are desiring. Then everything comes. If we desire Krishna, we will get that. If we desire some material benefit, we will get that. May get that, according to our karma. And if we desire something for Krishna, we may get that, to be in contact with him. But that comes by his mercy, not by any karma. It comes completely through his mercy. Anything in connection with Krishna, whatever we get in that connection, that will be by Krishna's mercy. Whatever we desire in this material world, we may have to work for that, depending on our karma. But in relation to Krishna, that will come purely by his mercy. The devotee is always desiring the mercy of Krishna. How may I serve you? Please engage me in your service. Please let me remember you always. Please let me surrender to your lotus feet. This will only come by your grace. I can only desire that. Your will alone comes to pass. All right, next verse. Nischinta haya ami seviba tomaya grihe balamanda hale nahi modadaya. Translation. Free from all anxiety, I will serve you. Whatever happens in your household, be it good or bad, will not be my responsibility. In this life we find so many upsetting things happening, so many difficult things happening that are completely beyond our control. We're trying to live a happy life, and all of a sudden everything collapses or becomes difficult. And then what? We get so much anxiety. Oh, I want it to be this way and it's that way. And so we become anxious. And Krishna said, Bhakti Vinod is saying here, you have to give up that mentality that you are in the control of the situation. It is by Krishna's will that anything is happening. Everything is happening. And we are just the servants of Krishna. Okay, that is his will. It's going like that. Not by any circumstance that I can control. And like that, a devotee becomes completely free from all anxiety when he can understand that he is totally under the control of Krishna. Krishna has everything in his hands, and therefore he feels safe because he has trust, he has love. He honors Krishna as the supreme controller, the absolute good. And he doesn't try to create the worldly situation to favor what his idea is, his own finite idea of what is good and what is bad. Leaves that to Krishna to decide. A very important point of how to become free from all anxiety. Bhakti Vinoda Nidra Svatatra Tvajya Tvajya Tomara Charana Seve Akinshana Bhaya. Translation. Completely detached, Bhaktivinoda abandons his independence and serves your feet. Very nice. High transcendental. This is transcendental mentality, transcendental existence that lives in the higher world, not in this lower world. Whose mind is in that higher world of Krishna's will, Krishna's protection, Krishna's pastimes, whatever he wants. That is transcendental to this world of so many cares and anxieties. One must try to come to that platform. By Bhakti Vinod Thakura is presenting these things so nicely. Govinda Maharaj told many times, this book of Sharanagati is the real Krishna consciousness. has given here in a very clear way and very focused way and very intense concentration on how much we are dependent upon the Lord and all of existence, not only our own, but all existence. Okay, next. Sarvasva Tomar Charades Sapiya Padeche Tomar Gare Tumita Thakura Tomara Kukura Balia Janaha More. Translation. I have offered everything at your feet and taken shelter in your home. You are my master. Consider me your dog. So, not only has he given himself to Krishna completely, but he also understands his house. His own house is not his house. It's all Krishna's. Not only his house, but this whole world, and not his world. It is Krishna's. And he is like wandering like a dog. Dog will go from here to there. He doesn't have any conception. This is my house, this is my country. They don't know anything like that. Someone comes, put a collar around their neck, and they follow. Devotee wants Krishna to treat them like that. You want to lead me someplace, my dear Lord, and then I will feel happy to follow you. That's all I am desiring. You please put your collar on my neck, and then we put this Tosimala to tell Krishna, we are your dog. You are our master, and we want to serve you. Dog follows the master, but what happens? The master has to serve the dog, because the dog doesn't know where he's going to get his food or anything. Master has to feed him, otherwise the dog will starve. I like that. Very nice conception. I am your dog. And the other thing about one time, I heard one discussion between an atheist and another man. A man was a Christian, and he was asking that man, "What do you believe in?" And that man said, "I believe in dog." You don't believe in God? I believe in dog. You believe in God, but I believe in dog. What? Why you believe in dog? He said, well, dog has unconditional love for me. Unconditional love. It's just like your God also has unconditional love for you. My dog has unconditional love for me. Therefore, I believe in him. And another quality, the dog is unconditional love. And devotee also is like that. He has unconditional love for the Supreme Lord. But we don't worship the dog. He may have unconditional love, but he is not the controller, Supreme Lord. So we worship the Supreme Lord, and we have unconditional love for him. And he also has unconditional love for us. That is a transcendental relationship. Padiyani kate amara palibe rahibato maratware patipa tranera asite nadiba rakiba gadera pare. Translation. You will tie me up nearby and maintain me. I will remain at your doorsteps. I will not allow any inimical persons to enter. I will keep them on the far side of your moat. Tamanija jana parshada seviya uchista rakibeyaha amarava jana parma anande pratidina habetaha. Translation. whatever remnants your devotees leave behind after honoring your prasad, I will eat every day with great joy. Bhāṣya suya tomara charana chintiba satata ami nachite dikate yaiba yakana takibe tube. Translation. While sitting up or lying down, I will always think of your feet. I will come to you whenever you call me, dancing all the way. Nijara poshana kabuna bhaviva rahiba bhavera bhare bhakati vinoda tomara pralaka bhalia varana tare kare. Translation. I will never think about my own maintenance. I will always remain within the shelter of loving attachment to you. Bhakti Vinod embraces you as his maintainer. Commentary by Sridhara. Nijera poshana kabuna bhaviva. I will never think about my own maintenance. This state of surrender is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-195. Chintam Kuryan Rakshaivar Vikritasya Yatapasho Tatar Payan Haro Teham Viramedasya Raksharat. As one does not worry about the maintenance of a souled animal, so one will not worry about maintaining oneself upon fully offering one's body unto the Supreme Lord. We see in the lives of the saints, those highly exalted saints, how much they were detached from bodily maintenance. Raghunath Das, nice example. Raghunath Goswami is, of course, one of the 6 Goswamis. He used to sit outside the temple and eat the rice that had been thrown away. Rice, sometimes, prasadam of Jagannath is not all taken, eaten, and they have to throw it away. And after it's thrown away, it starts to rot. And Raghunath Das used to take that rotten rice, wash it off, and eat whatever kernel was left. And he was eating that every day for his maintenance. And he came from a very wealthy family, where he had very luxurious meals and everything. Lived in a luxurious palace. And he gave that all up to follow Mahaprabhu. And he became so renounced that even his eating became renounced. And like that, Mahaprabhu came by one day and told Raghunath, "Why are you eating this precious prasadam, so nice prasadam, and you are not offering it to me?" And Raghunath said, No, I cannot offer this to you. I'm taking that as his daily maintenance. Such a renunciation. So we offer Raghunath Das our highest reverence. Consider him the Pariyojanacharya. He who teaches us the highest realization of dedication to the Supreme Lord. And he doesn't even worship Krishna. Raghunath Das, I am not worshipper of Krishna. I am the worshipper of Radharani. She can worship Krishna better than I can ever do. And so I just want to serve her. And then maybe my service will be of some value as she worships Krishna. If I can assist her in that worship. Such a humble soul, a greatly realized soul. Why accept him as our Pariyojan? Pariyojanacharya means who gives the highest conception. Okay, so next verse we'll leave till next week. Any comment, question, anything? Whatever would like to say? You can see this book, this literature, is the highest literature, highest conceptions is being presented here by Bhakti Vinod Thakura. Very important book. Please forgive me, my Dandavats Prabhus. Be well. My love and affection to you. Be safe. Be happy in Krishna consciousness and in your service. Dandavat, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Dandavat pranam Maharaj.
Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam Didi. Dandavat.